Okay, so with this question here, with cubic functions, right, and later on we're going to be asked to factorize it, okay, sometimes it's best to look at a quadratic function first, okay, see what we did there. So I got this example here. If we just look at this for a moment, it's what we learned to sort of a GCSE. So if you were asked to factorize this here, quadratic, you'd have two brackets, wouldn't you? We know it's a pair of brackets, and we'd have to think about two numbers that multiply to give minus 6, right? And add up to give this number here in front of the x, which is a 1, okay? So in my pair of brackets, I know first of all we're going to have a plus or minus, okay? I know the signs are going to be different because these two numbers have to multiply to give minus 6. And if that's the case, right, if it's going to give us a minus answer, the two numbers have to have different signs, don't they? We need to multiply a positive by a negative to get negative 6. Now what could they be? They could be 6 and 1. 6 and 1 could get you 6. But can we get that to add up to give 1 here in front of the x? Of course we can't. The other option, of course, is 2 and 3. And that will, when you multiply 2 and 3, you get to 6. And then, of course, you can get it to add up to give 1. Now we want to get it to add up to give positive 1, yeah? Positive 1. So we need to think where the negative is going to go. Of course, the negative will go in front of the 2, positive in front of the 3. Okay? So they times now to give minus 6, but they will add up to give positive 1. So positive 3 and minus 2. And what's important here, right, we've done what it says. It says factorize, doesn't it? Okay, factorize. And we have literally factorized it. We have found factors. Okay, that's what it is. We have found factors of x squared plus x minus 6. That's why we can say x squared plus x minus 6 is equal to x plus 3 times x minus 2. We found a pair of factors. Okay, we found a pair of factors, and they are factors because x squared plus x minus 6 can be written as a multiple of these two here. So these brackets are literally factors of this here. So when it says that, when it comes into this, hence solve this, right, equals to 0, we can use the brackets, can't we? So we put x plus 3, okay, x minus 2 equals to 0 instead. Okay, and then of course, if you remember what we said, look, either x plus 3 equals 0 or x minus 2 equals 0. Okay, so that we actually put the factors equal to 0, don't we? If we think about it, because remember when you got two brackets, yeah, times together equals 0. Of course, one of them has to be 0 to get the result 0. So we say the first factor is 0, or the second factor is 0. Because to get the solutions, then we take the 3 over, it becomes minus 3. Take the minus 2 over, it becomes positive 2. So it's important when we go back to this question now to realise, well, if this is the factor, okay, we can put it equals to 0 to get the value of x, okay, so that this value of x will satisfy this equation. Same here, this is a factor, take that minus 2 over to get 2. This value of x will satisfy this. In other words, if I put minus 3 in here, I get 0. If I put 2 in here, I get out 0. Now looking at this question here, part A, it says find the remainder when 2x cubed minus 5x squared plus 8x minus 6 is divided by x plus 4. Let's think about it for a minute. The word divide means that we're dividing by it, and it could be a factor, right? If it's a factor, that means it divides into it perfectly, yeah? So, for instance, 8 divided by 4 is 2. So, because 4 divides into 8 perfectly 2 times, we can say that 4 is a factor of 8. Now, x plus 4 could be a factor here, all right? And if it was a factor of this, then the remainder would be 0, wouldn't it? Okay, so the question is, well, how do I work out the remainder? Remember, without factors, right? Without factors, with a quadratic, we put it equals to 0, didn't we? Yeah? If we put it equals to 0, we can work out then what x would be. Okay, x would be minus 4. In other words, if I put that in here, okay, minus 4 in here, if it came out to 0, okay, if it came out to 0, then that means then that x plus 4 is a factor. So let's put minus 4 in here. Okay, we'll use our calculator. So 2 minus 4 cubed squared. Oh, I missed out the 5 there. Now we've got to be careful. We can check everything here on the calculator that I've typed in everything properly. plus 8 times minus 4 plus 6. Oh, I should put minus 6, shouldn't I? Be careful there. Minus 6, and I get out minus 246. Now, it doesn't come out to be 0, doesn't it? Which that means x plus 4 is not a factor. But what we can say is the remainder now is 200, or minus 246, okay? Minus 246.